My video for September 23rd, 2019 is video number 3216. The title is Identifying Fraud and Overcoming Deception. I continue to struggle and take criticism from those who, as I did much of my life, think they know the answers. Few get it that nearly everything on this planet is riddled with deception. There are those who have religious solutions, only believe, have faith. There are those who have political solutions. Get the Democrats back in office like Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, or Bernie Sanders. I chuckle at both answers. I had faith most of my life, yet nothing really changed by 2012 or 2019. Many friends send me things to show how Donald Trump is restoring the republic. Will the fraud of the money system be exposed? Will the corruption of the political system be overturned? Will humanity finally see heaven on earth with the fulfillment of prophecy? My detractors are right about one thing. I feel betrayed and impatiently await answers to oft-repeated prayers. I'm thankful to those who maintain respect. I try to do the same. It's not easy with some. How can we eliminate Roman law and get humanity back to a common law system? It ain't easy. And I throw that last sentence in. It ain't easy being easy, but of course that has nothing to do with the video. It's just what came to mind as I wrote the words. Oh, and I'm recording this again in the evening before it goes up live. I did watch football this afternoon as a diversion, and my New York Giants team won at the very end of the game, and the attempt to overturn the Giant victory was a missed field goal in the very final second of the game. Anyway, folks, that had nothing to do with anything except I spent time actually looking at a football game, and at the same time I was also listening to a video of people that were proclaiming that the way to get rid of and beat the system is by not using your last name. That the trap, of course, it was as was being revealed, was using the last name. Well, I've never tried not using the last name, I don't think. That's another remedy. And I've tried lots of remedies over the years. None of them are consistent in working all the time. I mean, even as I've said, had an international driving permit, but I spent a night in jail because of the corruption of the system, because of liars. We got to understand that Roman law is a law of deception. And Roman law is what is applied in the Vatican. Not just in Catholic churches, but all religions, not even just Christian religions, folks. All religions come out of the Vatican. All control comes out of the City of London. All wars are generated through the District of Columbia. These three city-states have been used by dark forces to run the world for eons. And we need to wake up and see that this deception has been going on. They are operating under the law that makes all of us in the current political environment corporations, because corporations was just another part of the money control agenda, and the money system has been used to enslave humanity for a long time. Yes, the 14th Amendment emancipated the slaves and made them citizens. Well, a citizen is still a slave. It's just a slave by deception. A citizen is a deception. Slavery continued. The brainwashing continued. And it continues to infiltrate all aspects of human culture. It's hard for all of us, to get our minds around the immensity of the fraud, the vast, vast tentacles that touch every aspect of our lives. We can't drive a car because we need a license, which means we need to get permission from the mind control system. And in doing so, we are part of their system. We are slaves, folks. We are slaves. And yet, when we try to extricate ourselves from the mess, we find ourselves another way of them entrapping us. I was forced to get a Florida driver's license, or I would have stayed in jail for a period of time. And I won't survive in jail, folks, because I can't eat their crap they call food. No matter how many times you mix it with other things to try to avoid the bad taste of the spoiled food that they feed people in prison. Because the people that run the prisons, again, it's a corporate structure. The prisoners become slave laborers that are kept in bondage. Now, all of us are slave laborers. It's just that most of us aren't in prison, and they got rid of the chains a long time ago, or at least in most parts of the world. When are we going to have action from a loving creator who says, enough already? People say, Ron, but we did it to ourselves. We did it to ourselves. Well, not if there's deception. There's no statute of limitations on fraud. None. That's law. That's common law. That's natural law. And natural law is not what is being used in our court systems in most of the world. It doesn't matter which religion is controlling the country. The court systems are still part of the enslavement system, the money system that has dominated human culture for such a long time that none of us can remember how far back it goes. Some people say it's only every 6,000 or 7,000 years. Bullshit. Things are much older than that. And yet things keep getting recycled over and over and over again. It's the same pattern. It's the same control grid that just fine-tunes its deceptive abilities, fine-tunes the stories that it tells, and it maintains control. As soon as one loophole is discovered and people start using that loophole, they close the loophole, but they have to, supposedly, they have to open another remedy. Well, I've heard lots of things about remedies. I've tried lots of them. They don't work for very long. Do some people slip through the cracks? Yes, apparently some do. Maybe I did. But I have friends that were part of the Republic that lost everything. I've said that again and again. So figuring this out is not easy. And throwing stones at people because they don't believe like you believe is not the answer either. We've got to get back to loving one another. That begins by listening. I wonder how many people comment on my videos based on the blurb alone, and they never actually listen to 10 minutes. That's all I'm asking, 10 minutes of listening. But I suspect a good number of people don't do it. They comment only on the blurb. That's it. Or even worse, just the title. How does anybody overcome this and get us to take a little bit of time to look at things? Now, I spent time listening to what this guy was saying about getting rid of the last name. Well, it's another remedy, and these are Australians. And Australia, apparently, some people there think that they've overcome some of their corrupt system. Is that true? I don't know. I love Australia, but I love the whole world. I'd like to see humanity liberated. Will that happen? God only knows, and it's up to God. Thank you for listening, and namaste.